Welcome, hello.
Liquid smoke.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome back to the Backyard Basketball Podcast, presented by the Ordinary Podcast Network. I'm here with Christian Steck, as always. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, except for I just read Doncic likely to miss time with ankle injuries, so now I'm doing less great.
No.
But let's go.
No. All right, we're going to get into that for sure.
Long.
All right, here we go. All right, dude, that sucks. Luka Doncic is out. What? How long?
Undetermined. Oh, no. Is facing an undetermined spell on the bench after sustaining an ankle injury late in Monday's win against the Denver Nuggets.
Hold on. Did you say spell? He won't miss much. No. Did you say spell?
Yeah, that spell. That's how they wrote it.
Okay, we got it.
The Mavericks are hopeful he won't miss much time as the injuries are not too serious. Is not too serious. Whoever wrote this just was brutal. But
what kind of magical curse do you think is on him?
I don't know.
Sprained his ankle?
It's a hex from some of the other teams.
Could be. Sprained his ankle? So, what did he do?
He just had a tumble late in the fourth quarter.
All right.
Nuggets. So.
Well, let's hope it's not. Let's not hope it's not too bad. Yeah, Dallas has been pretty good. Sitting in third, 9-4. I mean, we knew they're going to be good. Who's their prize they got this offseason? He wasn't like a crazy free agent, but who did they pick up this season? Well, they retained Tim Hardaway Jr. That's pretty big for them.
Yep.
I feel like they added somebody in the offseason.
They moved off of Richardson because now he's on Boston.
Here, I know how I can find out.
Yeah, I was just looking up their roster now too.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy. It doesn't appear to be anybody that is new. I mean, yeah. Whew. Okay, well, let's hope they stay up there, even with Luka out. Some new players are going to get some opportunities. What else do you want to talk about?
That's crazy. I want to talk about the Washington Wizards.
Okay, what's up with them?
Because they're the I don't know. They're the first seed in the East.
Only sitting
right
in
now.
first.
They're the best team. They're only sitting in first, like an eighth of the way into the season. Like not something any of us would have predicted to happen.
They're on a 5-game winning streak.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is, but they did get a pretty big package in the offseason.
Yeah, man. Who won in that? Who won in that trade? I got to ask you.
Who won or went?
Who won?
Oh my gosh. Well, at the moment, Washington. Washington. I think that.
Yep. Ding, 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 ding. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. You know who came in second though? I'll tell you this.
I like a very late second, like
the
last place.
The second. Los Angeles Lakers finished in third. You want to know who won second?
Who came? Who won second?
LeBron James got his buddy. That's important.
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, that's his buddy.
Oh, they're best friends.
No, they're buddies. They're buddies. He knows that
they're not banana boat buddies.
No, but they're Showtime buddies.
He's not buddies with Russell Westbrook. Like he's buddies with our other buddy on the Lakers this year that's dominating in points.
The crawler,
actually
the guy who crawls on the ground. Anthony Davis.
No, not AD. Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, he got what he wanted.
His actual boat buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Banana boat buddy.
His after the game, Russ walks up and is like, "Hey, LeBron," and LeBron's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm hanging with Melo tonight. We're going back to Melo's place, and his mom's getting us pizza." It's like something like that. Like
no, he'll invite him. They'll invite him. They'll include him.
Yeah, but they'll invite him. But they're gonna be like, the parents will be like, play with Russ more. Like, stop playing video games over in the corner without Russ. That's what it feels like, dude. Yeah.
And Russ all in the meantime,
I wanted to talk about the Wizards, but here we are talking about the Lakers.
All in the meantime, the Lakers are still not where they want to be.
No, not even close. They're where they squeaked in last year, and look where that got them.
So Kyle
Their-
Kuzma had a
Their
really nice
butts whooped
he
by
had
the second seed.
he had a nice video play on his return to LA.
Kuzma.
Kuzma did.
Oh, really? Did they do a little?
They did a thanks for playing for us
celebration. Oh, that's
yeah,
cute.
and it was really good. And Kuzma's been in the league for like 2 years, 3 years, 4
Did they
years. I
give
mean,
him-
he
did
won
they
a
give him
ring and
some
all.
roses.
Well, they were like, "Thanks for winning a ring. Thanks for being here while LeBron won us a ring." But good for him. And I mean, he's a good player. He's just kind of a moron sometimes. You know, he's just like a little aloof. I don't know. Maybe it's just immature. He's just young and he's learning. Kyle Kuzma's awesome. He's just a silly guy.
Yeah.
You know?
You got humbled hard. I respect the
Yeah,
hell
he
out
did.
of him because it's obvious you got humbled hard.
Who else went
and
there?
you know what? He's doing Washington. Harrell, Clippers Harrell, not Lakers Harrell.
That's a good thing.
So 6 man of the year, Harrell, like dominating Washington. So good for them. Like that
Well,
was such a great player. for
and
that
another
team.
guy who probably was a bit humbled. It's funny because every person who was traded in this trade between
KCP.
Russ and they've all been humbled by that trade.
And they've all excelled except for Russell Westbrook. There's this immense pressure on him. There's this
It is
immense pressure on
immense.
the Lakers.
I feel
and
like it's gonna come around, man. I feel like it's gonna. It's
I hope
interesting
so.
because didn't we
'Cause
say
I
this
see it.
about Cade
I think I
Cunningham
see it.
in his first game with Detroit or his first few games? It was like, this is really great. He's healthy now, but
Yeah.
he had like 0 points in the first game. Maybe like,
They'll see legs.
yeah, well, he has the last couple of games. He's been above average, like considerably.
Dominating.
And getting looks, getting last minute shots. Cade Cunningham's going to be really good.
He's gonna be very good. He won't be rookie of the year though.
And
He's
I
still
think
gonna
Russell
be-
Westbrook will see a resurgence before his time is done.
I think it's still early. We're
He
only 8th way in
played-
the season.
He played with KD in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
So he's been around for he's been around.
Well, I think his first season might have been in OKC. It was the year that they moved. I can't remember. I'd have to look at that again. It's right around like the 07 to 09 range. So it's right when the move happened. But
0708.
But like, yeah, I mean, those guys, regardless, they ran up hills together. Those two guys literally ran up hills together.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's special uniqueness to all three of those individuals and the unique time that they had in Oklahoma, that was a magical time. And then it all, went to shit. But, here nor there. I think.
Well, you don't want to
he'll
talk about
eventually
Russell
turn on
Westbrook?
this- Well, no, I do. I don't want to draw too much attention to it. I guess it is a bit concerning.
Yeah.
LeBron's coming back on Friday. It just it feels like, in a weird way, it's like the Lakers are going to be this successful comedy of errors. Is the way that I see it.
Do you think? Yeah. Go ahead.
They're gonna trip and bobble and it's like a cartoon, as they're tumbling towards the finish line. It's like bop, boop, bip, just this Roadrunner Coyote, chaos, spiraling thing, Tasmanian devil, right to the finish line. And what comes out on the end of it, who knows? Is it going to be a playoff ready team or not? But what are you going to say?
Yeah. What do you think would have happened had Russell Westbrook ended up back with the Brooklyn Nets and played with his old buddies? Do you think that would have made more of an impact than it has playing with his new buddy, LBJ?
I think he has an avenue for more success here in the Lakers than he would in Brooklyn, but it would be really interesting to see that Brooklyn
just for the narrative
reunion. Oh my God, that would be incredible.
And
That'd
to
be
win it,
incredible. Yeah, for them
but
to win.
Billy
it
Donovan
together.
would have had to have replaced Steve Nash. And you know what, dude? I don't know if Steve Nash is going to make it.
No, you need Scotty Brooks to come in and do Steve Nash's job. That's what you.
That's right, Scotty Brooks. That's
Who's who's also not there on Washington, part and parcel, maybe also for this crazy potential coach of the year success.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, well, the Washington Wizards, man. I'll pay more attention here. This is exciting. 10-3.
They're deep. They're a really deep team. They're a really deep team. I don't think they're going to end up here, but they're definitely going to be a playoff team. No question about it.
I know the Bulls and the Nets are second and third, but I think they're all tied. Even though their record is, they've all lost one more. I do think this record is a tie.
The Wizards are fourth in rebounds per game right now.
Who's doing that? Robin Lopez? No, it's Montrezl Harrell.
Harrell, man.
They don't even have
a resurgence.
They don't have Lopez anymore, do they? He must be somewhere else. Okay, well, that's really exciting. I mean, I'm not surprised by Harrell.
Avdija, Hachimura, like those guys definitely would all get a lot of rebounds.
Well, this is a great thing for
God, this team is so
for
deep.
Bradley Beal, though. Like, to have stayed there through thick and thin, like serious thin, unwaveringly, and now to have pieces. I'm not saying this is a championship contending team. You've got some really great pieces here to start to Corey Kispert, although he's coming off the bench, he's probably getting a lot of really great like comeback touches. Got, plays where you're trying to kill clock, get your three. And he's a decent defender, I think, from what I had seen with Gonzaga.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This brings up an interesting question that could we start to see the Wizards now as being one of those teams, but with their success, having a better support structure, maybe a better, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a identity,
structure.
Like
how do they do that?
First organization. Well,
what
you
is
have a couple of young pieces. The culture, that's the word I'm
That's
looking
right.
for. The culture. So if you bring like an attractive culture, could you start to be a team then where it's not like teams are looking to poach from the Washington Wizards? The Wizards are looking to get quality, lure superstar players to come to Washington to play with Bradley Beal and this amazing supporting cast.
Well, so who and how do you do that? Like what famous rapper comes to the city? Who's their ambassador? What's that, right? Masai is an ambassador to the league and to global Africa or Africa basketball. There's an identity that he brings, the clout, right? I don't know, man. I think in the last few years, where's Jeff Van Gundy now? Not Jeff, Stan. No, which was
He's
commentator?
commentating.
Jeff, hey?
They're both. But Jeff's been doing it a lot longer, yeah.
Okay, here's an idea. What about Kenny the Rocket Smith? Could Kenny be this guy? He's ready, I think.
I think in the next couple of years we're going to see Kenny definitely take a executive type position with one of these teams.
He brings the ESP.
That'd be really cool.
The media with him. Not that you need media attention, but you do need the focus.
He brings character.
Yeah, he does.
He brings your team. He brings your team character and sensibility and well thought out ideas and the will to get it done.
Yeah,
Kenny.
I don't know enough other executives, I guess, from other teams, other than there's some guys probably in Dallas or some kind of fringe Denver. I don't know. I don't even know, man. Whoever's leading the Chicago Bulls team and GM is probably pretty excited about their future possibilities. So I'm saying it's interesting when you look at how Sacramento is constructed and match that up against the Charlotte Hornets, Cleveland Cavaliers, Washington Wizards, all really young players that are like ready to just have their careers take off. I feel like Sacramento has been trying to do this forever. And now they have players like Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. I want to say, well, Marvin Bagley's had a bad situation just get worse there. But yes, David Mitchell. I mean, I haven't seen enough of him yet. But what do you think? What happens with Sacramento? I don't think that Luke Walton is going to be. I mean, I think your prediction is starting to really see the light here. What happens in Sacramento?
Luke Walton gets fired is what happens in Sacramento. I mean, if Sacramento wants to compare themselves to the Charlotte Hornets as a catalyst for their success in recent years, then they should fire Luke Walton right now, because they'd be absolutely ashamed to see with the time that they've had and the patience and the decision making to be, you know what, I guess you're not as bad as Orlando, but you're not doing as well as the Charlotte Hornets right now, which is catching fire as a team. So as Sacramento, and like they just don't have a good image, you know, from their organization, what have you. I don't know. There hasn't, like, I feel like a player coming to Sacramento that's like, you know, I'm playing for the team. Like there was a tiny teensy bit of that with DeMarcus Cousins, you know, sometime that he was there. But like maybe Weber kind of gave a shit.
Yeah.
I don't really know. So, you know, and Buddy Hield's there and he's unhappy kind of being there. And I felt like they missed a boat on a better opportunity that the Lakers could have made, in my opinion, that I'm feeling now. Again, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of pessimistic with this whole Westbrook thing right now, but you know, having Buddy Hield on that team and like just some good supporting pieces for the Lakers. The Lakers desperately need, you know, if Taylor Horton-Tucker can come back and some of these guys like just feel like a good support structure for that team. LeBron needs it. AD needs it. They need it. And Sacramento could have definitely gave that for them. And for these guys, it's like you're developing young talent. So you should move some pieces that are going to give you complementary pieces that are young talent that you can grow into be a successful team in a 5-year window. That's what I would be doing if I was Sacramento.
Okay. So Marvin Bagley was a second overall pick.
Man,
what
is
he that guy? Is he the guy that they can trade? Like, what is his asset value right now?
He Hield's their guy. One of the three. You either have to trade one of the three. You have to get rid of either Halliburton, Fox, or Davy Mitchell. You can't keep all three. So you have to get rid of one of them. So you're keeping two. So you pick out whichever combination of two that you want. And then also you're thinking about what your biggest trade asset could be. De'Aaron Fox is probably the most I could get a trade for compared to all three of those guys.
Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes, did they become valuable?
Harrison Barnes has definitely become valuable, but like people don't trust it, I think, for the longevity. He's having an amazing season so far. But again, it's like, this is a new Harrison Barnes, or is this just like a little flare that we're getting? So I think it's one of those three young talents. And then you throw in, say, a Begley and throw in a Buddy Hield or something, and you could get a mass swath of great assets. Case in point, you're talking about this guy, Ben Simmons. This is a great option. If I was Daryl Morey, honestly, at this point, and I'm looking to Sacramento, even if they were willing to entertain me, I don't think they are, but even if they were willing to entertain me in this moment today, and I'd be like, yo, here is Ben Simmons and a pocket of those golden coins that are actually chocolate. Here's a cauldron of that. And let me have, I don't know, give me Fox and freaking Bagley, and I can flip Bagley for someone else, or give me Fox and Hield. I'll give you Ben Simmons, Danny Green, and maybe some other piece, you know, a pick or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just thinking. How many picks do you think they actually have?
And you're giving me Fox and you're giving me Hield. I'm getting a legit point guard to go with Joel Embiid, who's fast. I'm getting Hield, who spaces the floor, better version of Danny Green. I think these are great pieces if I was Philadelphia and I'm looking at this season.
Yep.
I don't, this is all ego stroking right now. And I'm sorry, Daryl. I don't know. I would go pour myself a stiff drink, because you're going to have to swallow this pill at some point or another. Everybody's going to have to.
You know what's crazy? Philly
What?
has like no picks this upcoming year.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They don't have a first.
They're so effed.
Oh no, they do.
Has there ever
No, they do. They do.
ever,
They do.
Has there
Scratch
ever
all
been a
that.
time?
No, scratch all that.
Okay,
Scratch all
okay.
that.
I
read
got a
it
question
wrong.
for you. I got a question for you though. Has there been though a situation in past NBA history? I can't think of this that is like unique like this situation with Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. Like with Philadelphia and the options they have available, and Ben Simmons and the situation of an asset that he's in right now. Has there ever been an instance like this in the league in the past? I wonder.
Kawhi Leonard.
But we knew what Kawhi Leonard's worth was. He was injured,
Okay.
right? But we do know, like the last time we saw him before that injury, he had a higher, I think, demand than what Ben Simmons' value is.
Oh man.
So it's like a player who doesn't really have any value worth. There's a promise of something.
Yeah, I don't think we have. I don't think that there has been something. I mean, I don't think you can say D'Angelo Russell was there because he wasn't as dominant, I guess, as Ben Simmons in his first couple of years. But D'Lo had that hype, and then he just got injured. And then he had that, well, before he got traded, the reason he got traded, that whole taping Nick Young saying shit about somebody's girlfriend, or I don't even like.
Oh yeah, that was so silly.
He just got wrapped up into something that he was just being a dumb kid about. That tainted that, but now Ben Simmons is in a place where he's kind of tainted by just the situation, like, well, and his not just the situation, his play in the playoffs. And I think, I mean, he's now got something. He has to prove to people and himself again that he is a dominant force in the NBA. And I hope that is the step in the process that he's in right now, because if it's not going to get better. It's not going to change. And
if you're going to continue the blame, because I feel like in some asset, because like I just want to interject quickly. I don't feel like this is all entirely his fault. It feels like there's all these scenarios that happen in play that caused, this to fail him, that to fail him to fail, in certain situations, just to put the situation in as it is. We're all human and we're all like very imperfect people. So all of this, it was like a perfect storm. Now Ben Simmons is in the center of the situation. So now he himself, unfortunately, has to be the one that's going to dig himself out, as you're saying. You're hoping that he does this rather than, if he's just going to be pointing fingers and continuing the blame game or whatever and avoiding the real problem, where it doesn't matter all of the noise happening around you is going to happen regardless. You have to look within inside yourself and be like, I just got to do this. I got to get better. I got to, I got to perform. I got to find a way, to get through. And
I
don't know, man.
It's hard. It's hard to see because it also makes me think how much of that is as media telling us that blame is coming from here and he's doing this and Rich Paul saying this about him and other people are, he's being fined for this and then he's saying this about this. It's hard. It's hard to know what's actually happening. We can make up our ideas about it based on what we're hearing and from what we're seeing as well. He's not on the basketball court. So obviously I'm going to have a certain way to feel about that. If he speaks to it or I hear from him about his experience, then I have more information there as well. It's challenging. It's challenging to know how to feel other than I want to see him succeed. So if that's him playing basketball, then fuck yeah. And make that shot, man. You're a first overall draft pick. Don't be trying to pass the ball and be all, oh, look what I did. Leave that to Russell Westbrook. He was not drafted first overall, but he's, I want to see Ben Simmons' success. Somehow, Christian, we've made it back to Ben Simmons.
I know.
We're just going to hold on. We're just going to take a little break. The Ordinary Podcasting Network is excited to announce that we have launched a merch store on our website. The store is full of ordinary swag, including t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. You can pick out something awesome and support your favorite podcast today by heading over to ordinarypodcasts.com. Enough of that shit. The Golden State Warriors are back with their winning ways. but they have a new cast of characters led by the greatest warrior of all time, if not one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Stephen Curry.
They're first in points per game right now at 115, second rebounds per game right now, first in assists per games right now, and third in opposing goals, I think is what that means.
Wow.
Yeah, they're nuts. This team is nuts, man. They're shooting the lights out of everybody. They're playing this crazy basketball that we knew the Golden State Warriors played in their dynasty. And I'm scared, dude. If Klay Thompson comes back, and I know the type of character that Klay Thompson is, he's just going to be amazing, and they're going to be amazing, and they're going to go in the playoffs. And this is going to be one of the hardest teams, which we just said in another podcast today. I have the utmost confidence to say now that this team is going to make it to the finals. They just are. I don't think no other team has a chance in the West to beat this Golden State Warriors team if everybody is healthy. If Draymond is out, they don't have a chance. If Klay is out, they don't have a chance. But if those three guys come back and they make it to the playoffs, there's this dude. Like what happened?
Draymond's not out right now, is he? Draymond's not out.
No.
But dude, Draymond, is he going to be Defensive Player of the Year?
Could very well could be. I would not put it past him. I would not put it past. He went into the season with that frame of mind that he was like, "This is what I'm going to get. I'm going to go and get. I'm going to get that this year."
Well,
and he could do it. I mean, he's that determined of a dude. You know, like I love it too, man. And I'm scared.
So here they're on a 1-game losing streak for everybody out there. So don't freak out yet. But what I really like about this team is the fact that when they started to lose, because they really lost last year, like a lot. And I know a lot of it is injury, but also after the dynasty happened, they didn't really change. I mean, like big pieces kind of KD, you can't really count KD. He was in and out. Iggy was a really important part. But the core of this thing, which is Steph, Klay, Splash Brothers, and from years ago, but then also Steve Kerr, who has his own history of winning in championships. The fact that he's still at the core, when you look at teams who have just kind of made it, well, Dwayne Casey was a really important part of the Toronto Raptors getting to the We the North moment, the catalyst, but like the peak, Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year that year. And then Nick Nurse was there. It's like all of these pieces that kind of, and then it switches. I don't see that happening with Golden State, which is nice because Steve Kerr is that guy. Like there's no guy that can, I think, replace Steve Kerr to win you championships right now. If you're the Golden State Warriors, they've done it before. They've been there before, and they're going to do it again.
Yeah, man. No, I think so. I was just looking. Their only two losses that they've had so far this season was against the Charlotte Hornets and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And you know what that kind of tells me is that both of those two teams are incredibly young teams that are very fast. And they also have that endurance of fastness. Like you get in the fourth quarter, these are like young bucks that are still coming at you at 100 miles an hour. So maybe that's the kind of energy that you need to be able to beat this Warrior team. There's such a, when we remember them in their dynasty, this was such a fluid team. It was like this organism operating on the court that could switch many different positions. The ball was constantly moving. That was kind of their marquee. And by doing so, you just would execute openings in the defense constantly. And you would constantly punish them for it because your ability was just so high for converting the ball at range. So, I find that's kind of interesting. I love Memphis, and I would imagine, that game, Memphis would have given a lot of heart and a lot of fight, and same with the Charlotte team. There's a lot of energy and a lot of fight. And some of these other teams that are not necessarily wanting to dump a bunch of points, like this Warrior team could score a lot on you. And I really like your point too. I remember games last season where Steph himself would have these crazy, ridiculous nights, be dropping 40 points and they would still lose. And what that would do for your resolve and your character as a person for that season could be really necessary for Steph for if we're going to see this next, they honestly have a three-peat potential window here,
for sure. Oh, it's crazy. What they've added with Wiseman, Moody, and Kuminga. You've got 3 of the top lottery pick options in the last few years with this championship pedigree already in place, and fans who know how that feels and how to make that feel. It's nice to see with Toronto as well. It's going to be even nicer to see them play this Sunday. They're up. The Raptors are in the Bay Area. And we're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to catch up on that next week. Should we do it again next week?
Yeah, man, let's do it. That sounds great.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been the Backyard Basketball Podcast.
Liquid Smoke.
Promise no Ben Simmons next week. That's Backyard Basketball. We out. Woo!